And this is available at all the typical outlets. I got this one from Amazon. The paperback is $12 and the Kindle version is $10. There is Carol Anderson, who's the chair of African American Studies at Emory University. And I have a sensitivity to college professors writing. Usually they're writing for, a book that they can require their students to buy. But she is an excellent writer, very straightforward, very factual, very opinionated. I'll warn you on that. She has like over 35 pages of notes in the back. So many of these books, it's everyone's opinion that isn't backed up by an actual reference. And she is just excellent on that. There are 5 or 6 chapters in it, starting with Reconstruction. One of the things that opened my eyes this summer was I finished the biography of Ulysses S. Grant. And the section in that biography on the Reconstruction period is just extremely sobering and difficult to read. It was just such an awful period. She goes through some of the same stuff, so she has a chapter on the Reconstruction, and then the Great Migration, when so many of the freed blacks moved north to get jobs in the big cities. And then, she goes into the Tulsa thing and how her basic theme is that white rage has never left American society since the Civil War. And she has a very poignant thing way at the end. She wrote it in 2016 and then wrote an afterword to the paperback edition in 2017. I'll warn you in advance, she does not like Trump at all, feels he is a very unqualified leader who essentially make America great again is making America white again. And so if you're a Trump supporter, be forewarned. But at the end, she talks about imagine if we hadn't kept fighting the Civil War, because that's what she feels happened in Reconstruction. And if we had really been serious about the freed slaves getting a decent education and having a chance to own their own land and become independent, just think how much different our society could be. And she ends with a call for saying, that's the task for us now. We have to dismantle white rage. She does a good job of separating feeling. Most people are very reluctant to admit that they're racist. I've told some of you this, but one of the first exposures I had to this probably 30 years ago, and we were all, nice college educated, graduate school counselors and very sophisticated and, that whole thing. And our leader said, "How many of you are racist?" And of course, everyone said, "Who, me?" And no, not. I know how to avoid saying the wrong things. And then he said, "Well, let me submit to you that you are." And so somebody said, "How so?" And he said, "How many of you wish you were born black?" And nobody would raise their hand. And he said, "That means that you have become complicit with a society that gives you advantage. And it's not something that is an evil thought in your heart. It's just that it's something you've experienced and you need to think about it." So we'll dig into that. I would like people to read the book. And then if you can make a note here, and we'll put this in the email thing, some key terms that we need to have definitions of. And if you would write these down and do some just scratch notes by each word saying, how do I understand this? The first one is white privilege. The next one is white supremacy. And then white rage. She gives her own definition of white rage. And then bigotry, racial prejudice, and structural racism. And it's my theme, and we'll try to dig into this on the 22nd, that most of us are so sensitive about being called a racist that we'll quickly deny it and say, no, 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 no. And like our president said, I'm the least racist person in America. And, you know, I don't know if he thinks everyone believes that, but it'd be much healthier to say, yes, all of us are racists, depending how you define the word. And well, I think that's all I need to say. One of the themes that Carol Anderson makes, and others have made this as well, is that the most important thing for white people to do is to shut up and listen. You know, we just need to listen, and we're so quick to offer advice, and or like somebody told me recently, I worked hard for where I am. They have just as good a chance as I did. You know, what is this that I'm privileged? And I think that's a very common feeling. And we need to say, well, my granddaughter came up with a cute one. She's at the University of Minnesota. It's been all over the internet. Yes, you've had all kinds of challenges and troubles and problems in your life. Just be grateful that your skin color isn't one of them. And so that's kind of the white privilege we've had. So I hope all of us are able to read the book, and then we can discuss it in some depth on the 22nd.